finally we're lucky to find Mzu to come to the podcast. We could not finish because we spoke on the phone the last time. Mzu, how are you?
I'm fine, and you, sir?
I'm fine. Please, man, politely just reintroduce yourself to our audience, and so we can start understanding your politics.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Mzukizi Ronyuza. I'm the member of MK Party. Gauteng province is my domain. My last destination is where I am now. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Matata MK Mabaya. I don't even know where to start.
Yes.
Let's talk about the good things that were envisaged for MK Party, and you feel these things they are diral. So let's talk about what was planned, what we all thought MK is going to do, and those things are indeed happening. Then we'll talk about the impediments later.
Yes.
Yeah, on top of your head, just
the good things. I'll start with the good things. The first good thing was to have MK in our lives. That is the first one.
Sure.
MK brought a lot of hope to many people. MK, I'd say that even people that are outside it, they felt that we've got a new home. That has been the good thing that has been made by our president, Comrade Jacob Zuma, and those who worked with him in establishing MK. Remember that there are many, many people that were involved in this project at different levels, but unfortunately everyone says that I started. But remember that every person approached the old man saying that, old man, please, you are sacrificed, you are abused by the ANC. Why can't you start an organization? Or why can't you join us in other organizations? So, like for example, where I am now, I'm aware of some of the comrades that are not mentioned in the media that were part of the initiatives of going to Ubaba to talk to Ubaba.
Please mention them.
As early as around about 3 years back, 4 years back, right? But those are comrades from the former liberation soldiers. Remember that in 2001, I'm one of the people that were arrested, were accused for kidnapping the Minister of Defense. We were arrested and locked up at Khosamampuru. It's the team. Do you know the anger that comrades had? They felt that they are dejected, they are ignored by the ruling party.
How many were you?
We're 53.
53.
Those who were arrested were 53, yes. Others were injured, others ended up dying out of that. So a lot of them felt that we don't need our political homes anymore. Remember, those soldiers were from MK, Apla, and Azanla. So the group that came from KZN had meetings with Ubaba before and after those things that we're busy with. Remember that we're complaining to the government that we are not taken care of. We have been ignored. All the former liberation soldiers are poor, are ignored, are forced to depend on the welfare, while those that were leading them are very rich, using the government's estate resources to enrich themselves further, while they're pushing everybody, all those who are foot soldiers, to the gutters of welfarist life, sort of to depend on food parcels, depend on free houses, depend on everything, not to be able to take their life to another level. Remember that when you've got your own money, you can be able to send your kids where you want them to study, you can be able to buy the house where you want it and everything. That is what the soldiers wanted to have. Decent housing, decent livelihoods, decent life even for their own children and everything. So during that period of 2020 up until 2021, while they had those problems, they were busy. They reached out to the old men also to report that, old men, we are the only person who opened the way for us while we were in government. You are the only person who listened to us. You even opened the Department of Military Veterans. It was not even legislated, but you made sure that it's there, just like the fees must fall, where he was able to release the funds to the youth of South Africa. I hope the youth don't forget it, is that it is Comrade Jacob Zuma who made education, the funds to the education to be a little bit bigger than what it was initially. Remember, they had to release a lot of billions that were not even budgeted for to ensure that the black child get access. So after the fees must fall and his engagement intervention, while a lot of students who had access to education. So with us, our history is the same as those of those young people that were able to say that the person was helping us is no more in government, but let's race behind him. So some of our veterans who are staying in KZN, they reached out to the old man and wanted him to listen to us. So luckily, he listened to us. So as I'm saying that, the formation of the MK Party is involving a number of people. Others reached out to him. He did not listen to them that time because he was focused on these other matters. He listened to others. He shaped it with others. He even spoke to others. But he ended up giving us this MK Party. So in an event that it is a fact that this MK Party was not started in vacuum. Its history is linked to the history of the old MK that was started in 1960. Initially, the old man used to say that this is the continuation of what we started in 1960. We just hope he will still keep to that, to say that even if it was an MK Party, it's a continuity of where he started. Thank you.
The ANC being a broad church, it is accused by, I think, ever since you comrades came back from exile, it has been accused that those who will infiltrate at the time of the table when Rarathola Raja, those people will come.
Yes.
And I can show you without any fear of contradiction that it has already started at MK.
Yes.
So I want to take you back to that incident of yourselves trying to make a bold statement, trying to hold a member of the executive to account on promises that were made, because these military veterans promises were made a long time ago by the ANC government.
Yes.
And every minister that comes just keeps dilly-dallying. At first it was a sit-in, and then it was another meeting, and the other ministers came, it was another meeting. I want you to understand, if you could, maybe just give us 5, 6, 7 minutes of what transpired and how did you get there, and then we'll start talking about why do you think you are losing the idea of what MK was supposed to be. But let's start with this one first.
Okay. Yeah. When you talk about the ANC, talk about something.
Yeah.
The ANC is the oldest political organization, liberation movement in Africa. A number of political parties in many African countries looked up to it. A number of political parties, liberation movements that are leading in many countries, are those that took cue from the ANC. They got freedom before the ANC. They are still leading those countries. The political party that took them, liberation movement that took them and taught them politics, it's losing out. So I want to go back to the ANC and the liberation veterans. There were 4 pillars of the revolution in the ANC. It was the mass mobilization, the armed struggle, international solidarity, and the political work. So the armed struggle and mass and international solidarity, there's an element of soldiers there, although they'll be there in all those elements, right? The armed struggle has been the bedrock of the ANC. The armed struggle has been the center of the politics of the ANC during their political struggle. That is why normally even the COSAS itself was COSAS by day at some stage and became MK at night, because they were carrying out the armed struggle through other means. That is why mostly, all the time, the leaders of the ANC would be sent to party school, would be sent to the MK camps to ensure that when they go out there, they are well polished, they understand analysis, they understand politics. And remember that ANC, when it was incepted in its evolution, it became its tools of analysis became Marxist-Leninist in character, although they don't say it. Unfortunately, along the way, the balance of forces within the ANC changed. Remember that a liberation movement that is a broad church, as you said earlier on, it does not have one policy. You'll have many, many policies. There'll be communist, there'll be capitalist, socialist, and all these other things will be there. So normally you can't tell which way it will wake up. One day it will wake up capitalist, one day socialist, one day communist. So it depends on the sharpening of the balance or of the contradictions within it. So unfortunately, along the years, the the balance of forces tilted in favor of capitalists within the ANC. And they showed the brutality by ensuring that anyone who's left inclined is destroyed. And by the way, they say that the ANC, they say ANC is the disciplined force of the left. You become the disciplined force of the left, you are running the neoliberal and right-wing policies. That's a contradiction in itself. That is why, again, at some point, that when you take the liberation organization that is left-wing, so to say, you put a right-wing president who is pro-capitalist, you have totally changed the course of that organization. By the way, in the ANC, all the time and mostly, the character of the president of the ANC determines the direction of the ANC. Go to Oliver Tambo, go to Comrade Jacob Zuma, go to Thabo Mbeki, go to Comrade Cyril to Ramaphosa. You'll find that. So it was not even a mistake that the ANC tilted to the right-wing elements, to pro-capitalism, to neoliberal character. It is what was planned. And when you look, it might have been planned around about 1988, long before he came into government. By the time we took over through the ANC in 1994, the script started to change. The fact that there was a discussion in implementation of GEAR, which are macroeconomic policies, it was not a mistake. The fact that it was pushed by President Mandela, President Mbeki and others. Remember that there was a talk of the class project during that time, that the class project is taking over the ANC. So people like Comrade Jacob Zuma were on the other side, and COSATU at that time in the Communist Party, they were very much against what was happening. So if you can check that, the exodus that went out of the ANC, you'll find a number of comrades that were key in ensuring that the ANC is not taken away by pro-capitalist and neoliberal people within it. Unfortunately, this battle is very big. Capitalists are very much empowered. They've got money, they've got tools, they've got the global tentacles, they're connected outside. So if you fight them, you need to ensure that you're moneyed, you've got everything. So a lot of comrades that are coming from MK are veterans, a number of them. They are from the communist education, from the leftist politics. Even if they were there leading, but you could feel that you're talking to people that don't agree to what is happening. But unfortunately, some of them had to be converted to be right-wing in character. Some of those that were left-wing, when they fought, they were kicked out of the organization, deliberately or, yeah.
I see you are not answering the question that I asked you, but it's fine. I'll proceed to the next question.
You can repeat it.
The question
just
was,
rephrase it. Just
simply put, explain the incident that happened where you were eventually said to be have held the minister or the ministers captive, and was it a sit-in? How many meetings did it take? And what promises do you think were broken for you to use what seemed to be a
thank you. No, by the way, you know, maybe I took it very long because I wanted to link the character of the ANC resulted in what we have today as veterans.